And it's 9:09 on your Tuesday morning, continuing our conversation as we're downtown, live on location, right above Stephen Avenue Mall near Bankers Hall. Joining us now, Ward 8 Councillor Evan Woolley. Good morning. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Let's start with the big story yesterday. You made a decision on this, the tax shift. We knew which was coming. Are you happy with what was decided yesterday?
You know, it's unfortunate that we've kicked the problem down the road for another year. What we ended up doing is not much. We kept the rates the same. We've applied a $27 million in tax room that we don't know that we're going to even get from the provincial government. But it's unfortunate that we've continued to allow the business community to shoulder the significant shift that we've seen downtown in these exact office buildings that we're standing in or standing around right now.
So important that, you know, the residential areas start paying a little more of it. But what happens if that money doesn't appear in the future?
That's a good question, and that's the question that I asked yesterday and the question that we do not have an answer to.
We're here downtown. We're helping would be filling these buildings as they were not too long ago. Your views on what needs to happen for that to happen?
Yeah, you know, I actually worked in the Dome Tower right here for a number of years at an energy company. We've lost $14 billion in assessed value in these 5-6 square blocks right around us right now, and there are a number of things. It's not one silver bullet. Obviously, as a municipality, we rely heavily on our federal and provincial levels of government to create an environment friendly to business. We need to get a pipeline to Tidewater. Those are those big macroeconomic issues that we need to address. At the city level, we have to have strategies to work with building owners to make their buildings attractive for people to want to come and conduct business in the downtown core. We have to invest in infrastructure, programming. Remember that whether you work downtown or live downtown, you want to live in a bustling place, and you want to live in a place that's safe. We've seen some challenges around crime and social disorder as a result of the economic downturn and the opioid crisis. There's a number of strategies that we are implementing and undertaking and working towards to make those investments, and that's where I think we really, as a municipality, need to focus our attention.
So what do you do to bring more people here? Like we talked about, you know, these are offices for the most part. The people live just outside that. So how do you get more people down here? Is revitalizing the core and Stephen Avenue, for example, the best bet? Yeah,
so there's a number of pieces. There's the public infrastructure in the downtown, so Stephen Avenue, which is getting old and tired, and then there's the private infrastructure. One of the things that we're really spending a lot more time and energy on is working with some of the building owners. Some of the building owners are local, some of them are big international REITs or big companies who this building in downtown Calgary is a line item on a piece of paper. And so how do we work with the business community to look at what the future office worker wants, right? There's an incredible partnership opportunity here because we want people, we have opportunity to derive an incredible amount of value, which we've lost in the last number of years. So there's that, and then there's arts and culture and programming and all of those things that make the downtown attractive, right? Every time there's an event down here, there's parking revenue, there's restaurants that fill up,
hotels,
all of those things. Tourism and cultural development are a big part of the success of any downtown core.
We know the city is now looking to get suggestions on how we do Stephen Avenue Mall here. It seems like a smaller thing, but is it bigger than we may think? If you can get people to stay after work here or come here during Saturday and Sunday, that's the win-win, right?
It really is. I mean, whether you're talking about a new arena, other cultural institutions that frankly some of those buildings are getting old and tired, whether you're talking about the Saddle Dome or our Glenbow Museum, these are buildings that have not been reinvested in decades. And so with a finite amount of capital money that we have, where do we make those investments that have the greatest benefit to the business community, to the people working down here and the people living down here?
How are you feeling about the arena entertainment complex? Is it coming?
Listen, we need a new arena. As a lifelong Flames fan,
you got a golf clap from back there.
And as a lifelong Flames, we need a new arena. The question for Calgarians, and the question that we'll have to answer, is how much money, how much public money, do we put at what some believe to be a very profitable business? There is public benefit to an arena, but how much money and what that deal looks like, I think, is something that we're working on right now. I'm a part of that event center working committee, and we'll be coming to Calgarians probably in the not too distant future with some idea what that's going to look like.
Look 4 years down the road. We've got an election coming up, so we'll have a new provincial government, maybe, for 4 years. But look 4 years down the road with the things that are on the books now, and how are you feeling about the city?
You know, I'm bullish on Calgary. I believe in this city. I've spent my entire life in and around the downtown here. I believe in this city. We have to work together as residents and businesses to make that future happen. The energy sector will remain a pillar of our economy for decades to come. But what are the sectors that are going to drive us 100 years down the road? And what are the things that we can do today? What are the investments we can do today? How do we create a conducive business environment to get us there is a big part of the conversation.
But that diversification's been a conversation for as old as you and I both.
Yeah, we've been diversifying our economy over the years. What's interesting is if you look in the northeast Calgary, you look at the airport, things are booming. And so how can we support our energy sector? By building a pipeline as fast as we possibly can so that we can extract the resource that has given us so much benefit to date and will in the future, as well as looking at those other things, whether you're talking about tourism, agribusiness, financial services, our universities and big public institutions that will drive that future economy.
Final question here. We've got some neat things that have happened as far as flood mitigation on a local level through the town. We don't have the big ticket item. How crucial, how concerning is that to you that 6 years after the disaster, we don't have that big ticket item to help?
The hospital that I was born in and the house that I grew up in were flooded. It's both deeply personal to me, but also incredibly important to the success and economic welfare of this city. We have to build Springbank. And I would hope and encourage and fight for that to get built as soon as possible. There's time that it takes to do that, but the clock is ticking.
Thank you, Evan. Appreciate you coming down and joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Evan Woolley, Councillor for Ward 8, Calgary-Buffalo.